Nice.
I don't. Justin, were you able to add your own destinations or no?
No. I haven't really
Typically, it's
poked
like
around.
right when you sign in.
Yeah, well. There's normally a little button on the top right up here that says oh, Carrie's here. There you go. Normally, there's a button at the top right that lets you pick your own destination, but I don't see it for some reason. Carrie,
Greetings from O'Hare.
you're just always at the airport, huh?
I am always in the airport. This is the exact spot I saw Paul here like a week and a half ago.
It's fun.
I think I've been
it's a small world.
I've been at O'Hare 7 times in the last 12 days. I think this is statistic.
Where are you going now?
Florida. I'm going to Jacksonville.
What's up there?
Visiting a customer and
Can't tell all her secrets.
yeah, exactly.
They're not secrets if she answers the question.
But no, I have nothing to hide. Just visiting a customer and seeing some of my engineering team.
Ah.
Yeah.
There's a 30% chance we'll be coming through Jacksonville this weekend. Maybe. You just never know.
Oh,
We'll have to
really?
see.
30%.
We're at 30%. By Friday, we might have a higher percentage.
I don't love those odds. I'm gonna actually be in South Carolina on this weekend, so you guys should come through there. Come through Hilton Head.
Well, I'll be delivering it. We'll be delivering in Gaffney Friday night.
When how long are you going to be in Hilton Head?
Right now I'll be there tomorrow night through probably Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. My mom lives there.
I'm flying to Charleston on Tuesday next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you going to Hilton Head?
No, I'll be in Beaufort.
I mean, that's like literally Hilton Head.
I know, it's close.
You should be flying into Savannah, not Charleston.
I did that last year.
What do you?
But I'm going to play some golf with my dad and his friends.
This guy plays more golf than anyone I've ever met. Are you good, Reid, or what? Because you play a lot.
I don't play. I do not play a lot. I've literally played in the last 6 months. I've probably played 4 times.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen you tweet about that more.
That's a whole lot.
I mean, I live on like a par 3. My condo's got a par 3 course outside.
Don't let it against me. I live on a golf course.
Yeah. You sound like me. I just tweeted about, so I'm bringing my golf clubs because I'm going to play this weekend a couple times. How airlines need to figure out how to check golf clubs with more confidence. There's a business in there somewhere.
ShipStation.
ShipStation. Oh,
I'm not going to pay for
ShipStation,
ShipSticks every time when I get to check.
Yeah, it's
free
really
bags.
expensive.
Yeah. I just put an
What do
air
you
tag
mean?
in it and it solves it.
Why does I've never had an issue bringing my golf clubs on the plane?
Oh my
What's
God.
wrong with it?
I've lost my golf clubs 2 out of the last probably 6 times because they put it on like a little cart as opposed to just putting it on the back conveyor belt when you check a bag. They put it on a cart and they wait for some guy to come and pick it up and throw it onto the belt. But sometimes that doesn't happen for like 20-30 minutes. So if you're checking he just forgets. SFO is the worst offender of this, and I was super shocked. This is the first time I've ever seen him do it this way at O'Hare. So we'll see.
Hey Chris, you got any golf clubs in the
Yeah.
cab there or what?
Yeah, I went Top Golf out there in Vegas with Nate Johnson and Trey Gehrig's and their crew, and I think that's the first time I've held a golf club in 20 years.
I come to Hilton Head this weekend. We'll teach you.
It showed.
Don't
tempt me. This could be a thing. We could make this happen.
It'd be pretty cool to get Chris on the golf course. Chris is a schmoozer. He'd be good at golf. He'd love it.
What are you guys hauling over there, Chris?
Clay. We're hauling clay. We're now down to South Carolina. I'm hauling salt. Salt down to South Carolina.
We're staying at Iowa 80 tonight.
Are you?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Gets to take the CEO shower, the royal shower, king of the road.
Literally, we were talking about where we're going to take a shower, and he's like, the pilot, there's one we could take our break and do the shower there. I was like, I just want to be able to say I've taken a shower at Iowa 80.
Are they actually like decent showers, or what's it like?
Chris said they're awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty snazzy, man.
I've actually never taken a shower there.
I'm about to. I'll let you know.
Will you
Sweet.
send some pictures out?
Yeah,
Right?
Evan
Not-
needs to be sending
like just
Evan
of the
needs to be
shower.
sending-
You
Nah,
want
he needs to be sending some more shower pics.
We don't want
Shower
to live stream.
selfies do well.
Don't cut that. Yeah. Don't clip that, please. Thank you.
What?
I, Shower selfies do well. I did one at the pilot the other day, and it works. You got to go with whatever content works.
What? How many showers have you guys taken since you hit the road?
2,
How many times have you bathed?
2, right? I think 2,
No, I feel like we've had more.
maybe 3.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty luxurious. Evan, show us
Great.
the sleeper back there. What's the setup looking like? Just bring
Oh,
the
it's fucking.
put
I'm
the
telling
camera
you,
back there.
it's really not that bad at all.
It's just a lot of stuff back there right now.
Yeah, so I'm up there,
Yeah.
top bunk, bottom bunk.
You guys like just tell bedtime stories, like tell what are you doing? Like
Yeah, it's like we talk about our dreams, our aspirations, our wins, our losses, just the normal stuff.
Are you guys playing any games on the road, like the license plate game, or?
Just like chess, like on a board.
Oh.
Just have it in between us, and
Yeah, just hit the clock.
I'm like,
The-
your
the ni-
move.
Oh, the nice thing is when I'm losing, all I have to do is hit a bump and it messes all the pieces up and we have to start all over again.
There we go.
It's not.
classic.
It's easy for me to win. He doesn't get to look at the board very often.
Nah, I just tell him what piece to move from where to square. King to L4.
So Evan, is this your first time doing like a multi-day ride along with a truck driver?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it okay? So did you have any like preconceptions before you went in? How is it different than like you would have thought it would have been?
It's a good question. I don't know if I really had any preconceptions. I tried not to like think about it too much until we got into it. I think last night was the first time where I was like, oh shit. Like there was a moment for sure where I was like, there was like 90 minutes left on his clock, and he, like I could tell like Chris was like looking around, but he wasn't saying anything to me. And I was like, I bet he's looking for parking. But I knew he had like 90 minutes left. And we pull in to get fuel, and he's like, I'm just looking for some parking. I was like, I think I saw a spot down there. He's like, if we get out on 80 and start heading east, we're not going to find anything. Because just the way it turned out, it was like 8 o'clock. And that was the first time where I was like, oh shit, we don't know what's going to happen here. And it's like, it can get like tense, because it's like, what if we got kind of lucky. Well, not lucky because Chris is a veteran, but it was such an interesting, I mean, it's probably not the last time it's going to happen on this trip, but it was just an interesting feeling where like, holy shit, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, more than, like, I know it sounds dramatic, but there was definitely a feeling I was just like, I don't know where we're going to go. We both had like apps up and we're looking around. We're like, huh.
Yeah, and so that was
good.
with 90 minutes left on your clock. Imagine like you're a new guy and you've got like 15 minutes left on your clock.
That's how you end up on the on-ramp or off-ramp, I guess.
Yeah.
You're just like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're waiting until you got 15 minutes left, I mean, you're not planning far enough ahead. You have to plan your day out. Right. As soon as you leave, you need to have a couple of plans. You got to have, in your mind, how far am I going to make it today? And you kind of keep an eye on that, right? You got to keep an eye on what your options are, and know your area that you're in. I-80 is kind of one of those funky places. There's a lot of parking, but if you're talking 90 minutes, and that's when we stopped. By the time we left that fuel stop, we were down to about 72 minutes. So
You guys are
you're looking 30 to 45 minutes ahead tops, and there was like three potential stops, but very small parking lots. It's just at that time of night, you're just really taking a risk running that much further.
Yeah, and I hate being old enough to be able to say back in my day, but back in my day when I was driving, we had paper logs. So, if you were if you were struggling to find parking, you just make it up on the page. You never ever
Yeah.
worry about your clock running out or getting in trouble with your dispatch
Wait,
because
but
you were
when the clock runs out, like, I mean, you're just risking showing kind of an hours of service infraction by continuing to look, right? Like,
yeah.
But you can. Can somebody explain to me how the personal conveyance actually works? Like, how does that actually work?
I've actually never used it.
Yeah, so it's really a gray area, but at the end of the day, what's going to happen to you if you get caught? It's a nuance, right? So it's up to the officer. It really depends on the circumstance. Now, I'm going to say if you're driving all day and you've drove all day long, and then all of a sudden, oh, hey, I'm out of hours. It's tough luck. Yeah, I don't think there's a safety department, an insurance company, a DOT officer out there that's going to say anything but this. You didn't plan your day well enough. You did not plan your day well enough.
Mhm.
That's going to be the go-to response. Now, using personal conveyance to find a safe harbor, that would be a circumstance where you're like, maybe you're at a customer, right? And you've been there all day. And then they say, oh, hey, you're loaded. You can't stay here. They kick you off your property. And at that point, your personal conveyance to the very nearest safe parking spot. So you have to, it's, once again, it's a gray area. And like you were mentioning earlier, paper logs, this is just all of these tech solutions today are trying to figure out how to fix problems that were used to be fixed with the grease of paper logs, right? The paper logs allowed the trucker so much leeway to, make things happen, to get down the road a little further. Like you could go 15 minutes further. You knew that there was going to be parking 15 minutes down the road, half hour down the road. Everybody just made it work. And I'm talking to everybody. This was like industry standard. Anybody that says differently is just lying out their ass, right? Everybody made the numbers work to how they to get parked, to get safely, do their job.
As our friend Gord, who isn't here yet, but hopefully shows up tonight, as he would call it, autonomy. Drivers had autonomy to, do what they needed to do to get the job done.
Sure. And we were abused. I mean, drivers were no doubt abused by
Yeah.
the industry, by shippers and carriers for a long time. It was just an expectation. It was an industry expectation that the driver would make up for all of the inefficiencies of the entire rest of the supply chain. And that's been gone now for, going on 8-9 years. It's really been disappeared out of the system. They still haven't fixed the problem because, it's not an easy problem to solve, right?
Yeah, it's easy to point out the problems. It's really hard to come up with solutions that either don't make the problems worse or don't make new problems.
Sure.
That's kind of where we're at right now. It's like more tech solutions beget more tech problems, beget more tech solutions, and yada yada yada.
When's Trucker Tools going to solve all these problems, huh, Kerry?
Yeah, sorry. We have two truck tech CEOs on here. Sorry to be putting you guys on blast.
No.
Damn tech.
We do already have some truck parking in the app. It's not something we've kept up effectively. So I think Evan and I need to have some convos about that.
There's something we can do about that.
There sure is something. I know a guy. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about ELDs in a totally different way, but it feels like almost the initial use case behind the ELD mandate has just spawned more problems than it actually solved.
What have the safety stats shown? Are the roads more safe since the mandate?
Down. The opposite. That's what Gord and Rachel are always harping on.
Yeah.
All this new tech in the trucks, it's not making things safer.
You'll see all these individual case studies from providers around, distracted driving went down by 85% when you integrated with this ELD on your fleet, but there's just bells and whistles out the wazoo in there.
Unless
if
you're not hiring and training like a talented driver pool, you're not really fixing anything. You can have all the tech in the world you want in your truck, but as long as the meat in the seat is still not paying attention, you're gonna have problems.
The meat in the seat. I'm gonna steal that one.
Go for it.
Takes a lot of
Chris.
patience. It just takes a lot of patience to do this job. And, going on soon 20 years in this industry, there's not a lot of patience. There's an expectation. It's always a rush. We have the saying, hurry up and wait for a reason. It really is that mentality. You got to go, you got to go, you got to go right now. And, the best mentality to have out here is to take your time, to have patience, to go and get there as quickly as safety allows, right? And I know a lot of people hate the drone of the safetyism. I know Gord does, but that's the reason we have so many tech problems, right? Is because somebody's pushing the truck driver to be unsafe for time scheduling. And it's kind of this friction in between dispatch and safety and the driver. And we need to have a lot more conversations about how to address that within the industry.
We just got to get rid of capitalism. Stop trying to get everywhere so fast, do so much stuff.
Oh gosh, we're going to bring Rich in here next.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow. Wow, Carrie.
It's
wow.
a joke.
This is
It's
a
on-
is this a pro-communist live stream right now on the Truck Parking Club on the Truck Parking Club accounts?
It might have just turned into one.
Makes it a communist.
No, for the record, I love the free markets. I want everyone to know that.
Take
Yeah,
that clip. Take that clip. If you take any clip,
Please don't.
So,
You can ruin my
since
business.
Since Gord's
no,
not
no,
here,
I was talking about the last clip that you love the free market.
Oh yes, there we go. There we go. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. I gotta bounce. I gotta go board. But great chatting. Stay safe out there, guys.
Yeah.
Talk
Stay
to you
safe.
soon.
Travels.
Positive,
yeah, we'll
positive
see
note.
you in
All right,
South
bye, guys.
Carolina.
Yeah, we'll
See ya.
see you there. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Shower
what
selfies and communism. What a chat we got going here.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I feel like since Gord's not here, I'm going to speak for Gord on behalf of TruckParkingClub.com. Yeah, I really like those guys over there at TruckParkingClub.com. They're out there solving a problem with the free market and the libertarian solution, and it's a really cool thing. And I love what those guys are doing over there.
It's like he's here in the room with us.
Was Gord ever like a chain smoker? Like, did he regularly smoke,
No.
or does he just like sound like that?
That's his voice.
That's his voice.
We were talking on the phone this morning. My wife's birthday's coming up in April, and we're going to be going to upstate New York, not far from him, to see the solar eclipse. And I was telling him like our plans and stuff, and he's like, "Oh yeah, blah, blah." And I don't have him on speakerphone, but he's so loud on the phone that my wife can hear him because she's sitting next to me on the couch, and she's like, "That really is his voice, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, it's not a bit. That's how he talks."
It gets the worst. It gets the worse the longer he goes.
Yeah,
And he'll go. He will go.
he says he's cooking dinner for the family right now. So
That guy won't stop.
How did everything with Tucker go with him? Has anybody talked with him about like the whole experience?
yeah, so he's done a couple follow-up videos. He was just on Alex Mai yesterday, Mother Trucker News, talking about it. I think right now that what kind of irks him about the whole thing is, so the Canadian media, like in the US, we have NPR, which is some of their funding from the government, and then everybody else, like all the other news channels, are like their own private entities. In Canada, it's the opposite. Pretty much all the major news outlets are funded by the government. So when the government's doing something that might not be that popular, they don't want to speak up about it because they're going to lose their funding. So now that there are more eyes and more attention on this story that he's been talking about for the last couple of years, he's like kind of in this catch-22 of like, he put so much work and effort into getting this word out that he still doesn't think, and I kind of agree with him, not enough people are talking about it. And I told him it's there's going to be a point to where some major news outlet will cover it, and then the rest will scramble to cover it as fast as possible because they don't want to be left behind. Because that's really all. It's a good old boys club, really.
Yeah.
And it's hard to crack into those.
I wonder how many subscribers he got from being on there.
That's a good question. I know. Yeah, basically makes a living off of his Substack and his writing and part-time gig that he's got now with his brother-in-law. So, yeah, he's doing great. I know he was real bummed about being laid off last year, and not driving. That happens to every driver. Chris, one of these days you're going to hang up the keys once you got something good going on, and you're going to have that in the back of your head of like, damn, why am I not driving right now?
Hang
Just
up the
never
keys,
know. You
baby.
just never know.
I heard that Gord wasn't real. But
Oh,
that
if
was
only-
that was not what I was expecting to happen. Or they, yeah, that was interesting.
The
I mean, he
amazing
was
Polly
dressed-
is not the amazing Polly.
Yeah, well, there's apparently a bunch of conspiracies with that chick. So we probably shouldn't get into that. We don't want to invite the the swarm of crazy online people to back into our midst, I guess.
pretty
I
incredible.
see that as a great. That's eyeballs, man. It's engagement.
That's right. I'm jealous.
Oh
We're,
yeah. Do you want us to drum up some sort of conspiracy about you? Maybe we can come up with
Yeah,
something.
I mean, I think that's how you know you made it. Someone
That
says
is
you're not
true.
real.
That is true. Yeah, I was I was talking to last week. I was talking to Ryan Peterson at Manifest, and I was trying to get him to. I was telling him about the Discord and getting him to come in to do an event, and he was like, "Is this going to be good for my brand?" And I was like, "Well, I did just get accused of being a state plant, so it definitely is not going to hurt you to associate with me." Yeah, so I thought that was.
I feel like
that was
he's
funny.
gonna do it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get him to do it. We'll figure it out.
I mean, he was just like chilling at Manifest. He was
Yeah, well,
like-
they probably paid a bunch of money to be there. They were like a main sponsor, weren't they?
yeah, I guess he's just trying to drink as many beers as he could, just like keep up with how much money they spent.
Yeah,
Like trying to put down as many as he can.
yeah. You got to get your
Living the
money's
dream.
worth when you sponsor an event like that.
I mean, they've easily put down mid six figures, probably.
True-wee.
Yeah. They did. They definitely did. I mean, they were like one of the main sponsors. They were like one or two or one
Yeah.
of the top three.
That's a lot of
Which-
Michelob Ultras.
It is. Well, I drank a few of them, so thanks,
I think
Ryan.
I think I enjoyed quite a few bourbons.
Is that what you were drinking the whole time, Chris?
At least once a day. I mean, come on, it's come from Kentucky. That's my go-to drink.
Hey Chris, you've been to a couple conferences so far. What's your takeaway? Mats versus F3 versus Manifest. Like, what are your thoughts so far?
My thoughts so far is there's a lot of nice people out there trying to solve a lot of problems all at the same time, and it's kind of this interesting circuit where everybody knows each other, in these events, and I mean, it's an interesting exercise for a trucker to get out and observe the human spirit in a different way.
Do you find yourself enjoying your time around the tech bros, so to speak?
Yeah, I enjoy seeing where the industry's going. I mean, to me, some of these things may come to pass, and some of them just may be a fad that passes along. I think one of the more interesting things that a lot of people may not even missed out there at Manifest was it was a truck driver who was remoting a truck in Fort Worth live from Manifest.
Oh wow!
Cool.
Just he was operating it there in a train yard, a very, very, niche little market to have that you could log in from home and just drive that truck around there. And they said in their experience, it was more reliable than a full autonomy.
That's interesting.
I would do that job in a heartbeat.
What was I mean, that's like Truck Simulator IRL. Like you can actually put those guys to work. What was what the company was called that was doing that?
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. Oh man, something like Conrail or something's popping in my head, but I might be slaughtering that right now. I'd have to look through my contacts and find that later. I'll give it to you so you can put it in the show notes.
Was this an intermodal yard or a drop yard somewhere?
Yeah, it was totally an intermodal yard down there in Fort Worth. I believe the company had too. They've been working on this for a long time. It's very impressive. You know, they showed what, you know, asked them a lot of questions. What happens if it lags out and stuff like that, you know. It seemed like they had a pretty good solution there. Once again, it's going to be a controlled environment. This is not going to be something I don't think that we're going to see anytime driving up and down the interstate.
How
But,
about like decoupling or hooking up the trailers?
so with intermodal there, I mean, they're just locating it from, say, loading a train over to a stack. So they're just setting it down and picking it up, just driving around,
I see.
set down.
I see.
pick
So
up. Yeah.
he's staying hooked to the chassis. They're just dropping the box on him and locking it, and he's moving.
From what I could tell, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a bad gig because I was talking to some guys at F3 not last year but the year before, and we had an Amazon truck and a couple other trucks out front, and they were kind of geeking out about trying to like figure out how to automate a rail yard somewhere. And I'm sitting on a bench and just listening to them, and I let them go for about 5 minutes, and then I kind of stepped in, introduced myself, and said that I used to be a driver, and you know I liked what they had to say, but they were missing so many other little nuances like. What if you pull the kingpin and it doesn't disengage from the trailer? Or what if your glad hands are a different manufacturer? You know, different little things that, you know, you as the driver would spot immediately, but you as a remote operator have no control over.
Yeah. Well, that's where you're going to have like maybe a maintenance crew on ground that's going to come out and approach a lot of these situations. It'd be the same way with going autonomous. You know, you're going to have a lot more tech jobs out there to address some of these issues, I believe.
There'd have to be a huge like standardization happening too to make sure that all these systems interact with each other.
Chris,
Yeah.
if you could be, you know, so you know how Tesla has that self-driving mode where you basically can just kind of press a couple buttons and just chill like while you're driving, like you just don't have to pay attention. Like, could you just like, would you want to be able to press that right now on your truck and just like go on autopilot for the 300 or however many miles you have left to drive in a straight line on the interstate?
You know, it's an interesting.
Because that's like, why is that not like, there's so many like Gord, for example, like Gord and Lombard, all these guys vehemently against self-driving. I'm like, why would you not want to be able to press a button and to just like chill for a couple hours in the truck
because
and not have to?
That's the beginning of it.
Yeah, but it makes you more
the beginning of the end.
That's
silly.
That's dumb. It makes you more productive. It makes you more productive as a driver.
Not really. Well, I'll tell you exactly what Gore would say. One of the examples he uses is when the BART train in San Francisco was trying to like automate a lot of their stuff, and this was like decades and decades and decades ago. And what they discovered is that the kind of person that you would be able to hire that is comfortable sitting in that seat doing absolutely nothing for hours at a time, but then has to like snap to the instant that like some event happens and they need to respond immediately. That is the last person qualified to actually be in that position when it comes down to it.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's my thought on it. Like, you know, it's this pipe dream, and maybe this stuff happens, but when you're talking
about Chris fell off the air. Evan, I don't know.
You fell off.
I brought him back.
You back?
Is he
back?
I'm back.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
back.
So if you take a company where you're talking, okay, now I'm just driving down the road, the truck's doing everything. The human nature is going to be for me to stop paying as much attention, right? You're just going to do that. You're going to drift off. Your thoughts are going to wander, but now you're expected to take control of that vehicle at 150 to 300 millisecond response time. And it's not any different than me taking action when I'm driving the truck. I don't really see a benefit in that versus just training a driver and paying them good enough to get out here and do that job. Now, there might come a point where it changes and it does make more sense. Like maybe you are less fatigued if you're not doing the actual work for several hundred miles. But, you know, once again, what's that really going to do for anybody? What's that, you know, is it going to make a fleet more efficient? Because all I see is an increased cost. You know, you're adding complexity to the truck. You're adding complexity to your operation. And just, you know, there's still a lot of unanswered questions there to see how it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Check the photo that I just texted you. It's from a a research book that Gord always quotes from.
I just don't like it. Will never like no one is going to stop making these. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to stop, and they're going to figure it out eventually. So it's like I don't know. We can him and ha about it, or we can try to figure out how to leverage it as an individual, right? Or as a company.
Well, when you say they're never going to stop, the only reason they keep pushing this right now is either they're trying to corner the market on automation and be the first one across the finish line, or they're completely either ignorant or lying about the problem. A lot of these autonomous trucking companies are in this because of a driver shortage. And what we have is the opposite right now. So right now, it's still cheaper to have a person behind the wheel than any of these autonomous systems they have right now.
But you know what? There is a shortage of. There's a shortage of truck parking out here.
Yeah, baby.
And
way to bring it back.
One spot for every 11 trucks.
How do I?
Yeah, and those are the kinds of problems. If you want to make truckers want to work and want to stay out here, you got to make them feel like they're a part of your team, a part of your culture. So many companies fail at that. They just abuse the workforce. There are a lot of good companies out here too. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good companies out here, but I think you could ask Evan. He didn't quite understand just how much work it goes in every day of getting this truck down the road and how much checking and stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't understand it. I mean, I think Chris makes it look very easy, to be honest, because it's like he's been out here like 18 years. But even then, it's just a constant. He's constantly observing the truck. He's constantly checking the truck. He's constantly checking the road as he's driving. He's constantly planning throughout the day. Obviously, I don't have anything to compare this to because this is my first trip out, but it's a constant. You're constantly planning, maintaining to make sure that everything's going to go smoothly. I think last night was just a good example of how much more work that Truck Parking Club has to do to make sure that we have a network that can be helpful. I mean, it would have been fucking awesome to have a spot to go to last night that we know is vetted, a Truck Parking Club location, that we would have no issues. I mean, we still got parked what seemed to be very safe, but it was a question mark. And I think it would have been nice to had a little bit more confidence in we could have gotten 90 more minutes down the road, or that we didn't have to drive anymore because we had a Truck Parking Club location close.
Is there, Chris, how many times do you stop and park with time on the clock because you don't know if you're going to be able to park in 20 or 30 minutes, however much time you have left?
Several times a week.
So it's like a serious, it's a potentially game-changing sort of, from like a productivity standpoint, to be able to like reliably park somewhere, like, and to time it right, like can mean like hundreds of miles a week potential difference in productivity, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to save time, you're going to save money doing this, planning these routes out. And the problem's not going away. This has been a problem since I've been in this industry. This is not a new problem. The problem gets exacerbated by each rule and regulation that affects the workflow of a truck driver. It's a lot of, we lose spots to commercial development. Commercial development comes in and says, hey, we'll buy this old truck stop. It's not generating enough revenue to stay in business. You got to look at this from a whole different perspective. We're talking about speed limiters maybe coming sometime down the road. I feel like they're coming. I don't feel like they're going to stop. So we're going to get speed limiters. That's going to make the problem. It's going to make planning even more important every day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as more residential areas start cracking down on truck parking in their area, that's just going to further exacerbate the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird cycle where it's like, I think it's getting better in terms of like politics because it's becoming more. I think it's becoming more of an agenda item for politicians where they can actually leverage the fact that they're pushing for more truck parking and that helps them win elections. But up until very recently, that was not the case. And I think that's why we're here because, especially local municipalities, you're not going to win elections on saying you're going to build more truck parking beside your constituent's
Yeah.
house. That's a tough one. But it's becoming more accepted, more widely accepted, but it's still a huge issue.
Everybody wants their stuff, but they don't want the trucks that come with it.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is, right, like people aren't educated enough to understand that the more you push back against truck parking, the more everything you have is going to cost.
Yes, that's a great point too. Yeah, I call that food comes from the grocery store mentality or thinking, because so many people just don't understand all the steps that takes place to get the thing that you're buying on the shelf to the shelf. I think I don't know if like public schools, or maybe there needs to be like a cool movie that comes out that like kind of explains all this to the masses.
We don't, but the thing is we don't. Like humans are like programmed to take stuff for granted, because if we didn't take stuff for granted, we would, like, you can't possibly always be thinking about all the inputs to whatever it is that you're consuming or doing or whatever, right? Like, we don't think about the pipes that lay behind this live stream right now. We're not like fully cognizant of all of the fucking, hundreds of thousands of miles of fiber optic cable and satellites and shit that make this happen, right? Like, we're very ignorant of that generally, because more often than not it works and we don't have to worry about it. It's abstracted away, right?
Sure,
that's not to say that we shouldn't be aware of it, especially from like the supply chain, because supply chain is really just the back end of society, right? Yeah. It's the pipes of civilization, and there's a lot more humans kind of like moving the goods and certain things that we need, versus like there's no humans moving the packets making this live stream possible. So excuse me. I think
but even during that sentence, like, you were able to kind of extrapolate, like, okay, we know that the data is going through some kind of pipe. Like, you're kind of like thinking your way through the problem. Most people won't even do that first step. I'll give you an example. Like your car. Most people have no idea how a car operates. All they know is they turn the key, press the pedal, and it goes. But God forbid something happens and your car breaks down. Now it's like, shit, what do I do? Like, they don't even know how to like diagnose the problem first.
Well, I'll raise my hand to be at the top of that list of people who have no idea how the hell cars work. I mean, I understand the basics, but I can't fix them. So I'll leave that to you guys.
That's not me. I'm with you there. That was more my dad's generation. My dad, he could fix anything. Like, if there was ever a problem with my car, he like knew exactly what was wrong. Like, he wouldn't be happy about it, but he knew how to fix it at least. Now it's like, if something happens with my car, I got to take it to a shop somewhere.
Which brings up, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it brings up another real shortage in the industry, the diesel technician shortage. This is a real thing, right? Yeah. There's not enough technicians. I mean, when you're talking that you can't get into a shop for sometimes 2 or 3 days, there's no parts. There are a lot of shortages out there. The number of qualified CDL drivers is not one of them.
What I think Truck Parking Club, like 2 weeks ago, you guys did like a video, like, I don't know who it was, one of your dudes like interviewed a diesel mechanic. I don't even remember who it was, but anyway, I just remember seeing the video. Anyway, it got me thinking. I was like, I don't know, like, where do you go to learn to be a diesel mechanic? There's like trade schools and stuff for that, right?
Yeah. I have no idea how we're related. He's like a cousin, something relation on my wife's side. Young kid, probably like 19, 20 years old, and he was a diesel mechanic for some shop somewhere, and he just got a job with the school board as a diesel mechanic for their buses. And I think it starts with just having an interest in that topic. And I think there's a lot of kids that are kind of like, they get that beaten out of them in schools, because so much of it now is like, no, go to college, you got to do this, you got to do that. Whereas if you have like an interest in like things and fixing things, you don't have a shop class anymore to do all that stuff. So I think we're losing a huge pool of workers right there just from the start.
You know what's good though is well, actually, one thing that I thought about. So when I started as a freight broker or whatever 7-8 years ago, I was like, I really wish that from the beginning, and there's really like it'd be difficult to do this like at scale, but like what Evan's doing right now with Chris, like getting on the road, getting, seeing a truck, getting inside, right? I know Chris doesn't have he's pulling a hopper or whatever, so you can't go in the trailer, but like just like seeing what you're working with, right? Because when you're a broker, right, I move tens of thousands of loads, like or moved, you know what I mean? Not moved, but moved in air quotes, and booked tens of thousands of loads. And I never saw it. Like I never physically saw a single trailer in my entire time as a broker. And I really wish that in the first couple of weeks of my job, I would have gotten to like go and like hang out with a driver, like get in the truck, right? See what they're doing.
Fired.
Dude, no fucking way. They couldn't have fired me. No, but like just see what the equipment is, because you have such more of a like when especially because one thing that happened all the time, like I would call to set up an appointment at a warehouse, and the first thing I'd ask is like, oh, do you guys get, if it was like not a big DC, I'd always be like, oh, do you guys receive 53-foot trailers frequently? And they're always like, oh yeah, all the time.
All the time.
And then the driver would get there and they'd be like, there's no freaking way like a truck's gonna get in there. And I'm just like, well shit, like I don't even like, you don't think about like how big these things are. Like you see them on the road, but when you're standing in it and you're inside the trailer, you're like, holy shit, like that's big, man. Like you got to figure out where these things can go. They can't just go anywhere.
Well, there's also a case of like, sure, they might get trucks in there all the time, but they've never gotten that driver in there before. There's definitely places where like, depending on the type of tractor they're driving, you can get 53s in. But if you're swinging in with a full size sleeper like what Chris has got, I'm sure he's running in some tight spots before.
Well, there's a great opportunity for anybody that wants to see a truck coming up in March in Louisville, Kentucky. Go to truckingshow.org, Mid-America Truck Show.
Chris, are you a media sponsor now or whatever? Like, do you have a media pass?
Yes, I am media there. So I've got to give that shout out. Thank you for giving me that. The team there at Matt's. I look to represent trucking as best as I can, as I always do. Look to represent my home state, the Bluegrass, the best state in the Union, Kentucky, the Commonwealth. So yeah, the tickets right now are free. Sign up. Come on out to Louisville. Probably going to be 55 to 65,000 attendees this year. It's a fun time, a fun event. You'll see me there. You'll see Evan there with Truck Parking Club. You'll see his team there. We'll see you there, Reed. Justin, are you coming?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Let's see. All
Wouldn't
the
miss
boys
it.
are getting together. We're getting together. And what a year it's been, guys. It's almost a year now. Who
Yeah.
would have known what a year we've had?
It's
that's
flown
when
by too.
That's when I met. I met at Justin. Well, I knew you guys before from Twitter, but that was the first time we met in person.
Yeah, like I had known Gord for a couple of years. I think I'd known you, Reed, for like a couple months. And Chris, I think we'd been following each other on Twitter, but we never like interacted much. But yeah, Matt's was like the first time we all collectively got together, and man, what a good time.
It's only going to get better. We're just getting started, guys. Just getting started.
Evan, are you bringing the squad or what? Are you bringing a lot of people?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good event. We're gonna have, I don't know, 5 or 8 of our people there. Got a lot of things cooking. We aren't really talking about any of it yet, but it's gonna be a good one. Yeah.
Can't wait to see what kind of videos Hunter shoots. That guy's like a content machine.
Oh, he's one of a kind. One of a kind. Actually, I'm gonna try to get him on here.
Excellent.
Oh boy.
Hold
Send him
on.
the link.
Okay, guys, stand by.
He's the first person I've ever met at a freight event who, like, when we swapped phone numbers, he didn't even like give me a business card or anything. He was like, "Give me your number." I put it in, and then he sends me a video selfie to my phone. So it's like I have my own
Naked?
private little TikTok of Hunter.
Probably naked. Sorry, wrong.
No, it was
Yeah,
at
baby.
F3. It was
Yeah, baby.
clothes. I sent, if you didn't mind, I sent DOT a link to get in here.
Oh, dad of 2.
Yeah, I see him in the comments.
You said he had to go. Oh no, that was somebody else. Never mind. Yeah, get Corey in here. He could talk about the importance. Oh yeah, here's Hunter. Here we go.
What's up, fellas?
What's
up?
going on?
We just bouncing down the highway here. Me and Tiny Trucker Tim and Chase, we're headed to another truck parking club location.
Get that one done?
Do what?
Wait, actually, I asked you if you got that one done, but you're not getting there till tonight, are you?
Meeting her in exactly 53 minutes.
Nice, nice.
Where?
New truck parking club location. We met her at the, wasn't it at the roulette table?
At the roulette table at the roadie show, man. And
Yeah, baby.
hey, look here, she was hot. I mean, on the table, you know what I'm saying? And I was betting with her, and I left a winner. So it, we had a large.
Where is the location?
Missouri. I'm just I'll be east of Springfield, Missouri. Cobalt, somewhere right.
It's like
I
Kabul.
forget.
Kabul, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Kabool.
Chris,
Hey,
try
there
to
you go.
talk. Are you connected, or is that Hunter that's struggling?
That's Hunter.
I think it's Hunter. We're on IE. We got tons of service.
Yeah.
You guys got to
Also-
outfit your vans there with some Starlink there, Evan.
I know. If only Hunter knew what Starlink was.
Elon gonna hook me up, cuz.
I'm surprised you guys have pretty decent service out there. Iowa 80 was always like a bit of a internet service black hole.
We're actually
Uh,
still a couple hours west, right, Chris?
Yeah, we're a couple hours from I-80. About 120 miles.
Lots to see out
127
this way.
miles.
Lots to see. Cornfields.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
you guys aren't in those scenic Wyoming caves or whatever
Yeah,
you're driving
we
through.
don't have
was
those vistas.
incredible. That was incredible, guys. That was, and then the fucking tunnel that came out of nowhere. That was wild.
Yeah, we didn't see any missing people out there though.
Yeah. You tell it, Chris. The lady at the desk.
Yeah. So we went through the Wind River Canyon and we pulled up there and they were like, we were just on CNN last night because there's like 700 missing people down there in the res. And I was like, no joke. She's like, yeah, so don't break down when you go back through there. So I was we had 20 minutes there where we weren't sure we were going to make it or not.
Yeah, well, the world would have really been lost without Chris and Evan. That would have been a historic loss. Hunter would have had to run Truck Parking Club, which would have been potentially dangerous for the world. So
You'd have a lot of fun though.
nah,
It'd be like the roulette.
It would be. It'd be a lot of fun.
Hey, Tracy's telling you guys
They'd
to
add
go
a triple
to
zero.
grandma's when.
He's breaking up.
Hey, Chris, you ever been to grandma's at Iowa 80? You ever been there?
We were just talking about that. I was telling Evan about Grandma's Kitchen and the checkered flag out back. That's some of the best food you could probably get on I-80, period. No, there's no competition, really. So that's right across from the Iowa 80 there. It's in their little corner right there across from the Pilot. Some truck parking out back. It's a solid stop, though. I mean, solid food. Place to get some suds if that's what you're into. You're looking for a little bit of loosening up there after a long day, as Gord would like to call it, the road soda, although I do not approve of that, but get you a soda after the road.
She says they have strong drinks. So Tracy's probably stopped there. Tracy's
sounds
probably
like-
gotten loose
She
at
sounds like
the.
she knows.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Dang, Tracy.
Yeah, that sounds like with the suds. It sounds like my brother's grandma getting boozed up.
Hey, and I don't know if you all know this, but I know this, and I think it's worth saying. I love Evan's company, Truck Park Club, because he has built it he's got so many truckers on his team solving this problem, and that's what it takes to solve these kind of problems. If you're going to focus on something for the truckers, you need to have truckers on your team. And Tracy was a trucker. It's awesome. She's an awesome person to talk to. Runs the customer care department over there. Just a beautiful person to talk to on the phone.
Tracy is
Is
amazing.
Is this a sponsored little bit
Right.
here by Indy Trucker?
Yeah, how
Just-
much did I pay you for that, Chris?
I
Damn.
thought that, I think I'm working off.
Is
Vegas
is
right
Evan
now.
paying? Is Evan paying for your fuel or what? Is he giving you free truck parking?
Yeah. All you can park.
Oh, you can park truck park.
Oh, he's giving him the truck parking money there, the truck parking monopoly money.
All
The
you
funny
can
money.
park.
All right, we got Corey in here now. Corey, can you hear us?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Where are you in the world?
Heading to Quincy, Massachusetts. I got to go to the auction.
Oh
Pick
yeah,
one up.
you picking up a car?
Good times. Yeah, yeah. I
have you-
just
Have you met Evan and Hunter and these guys?
I don't think I've met them direct, but we follow each other. I try to share their stuff, man. I think they got a great thing going, and I send them a lot of stuff because I see a lot of places where might fit. So I actually DM them quite a bit and give them some leads here and there. So yeah, I think they got a good thing going, man. I love it. Although I
appreciate
mean,
that.
I didn't get a hoodie, but whatever. I see how it goes. No big deal.
How do you not have a hoodie?
Everybody else gets hoodies but me, but that's
How
cool.
did-
I got a hat. The hat's way
How
better
did you
anyways.
not get a hoodie?
I don't know. I signed up for everything on the on the old
Somebody
website
send
there,
this
but-
man a hoodie, damn it.
Hey,
Jeez.
hey, Corey, what's the address? Tracy's on here paying attention because she's commenting. Tracy, if you'll take note of this, Corey, what size and what address, man? If you don't care to shout it
Yeah,
out
yeah,
on,
just say it
on
to
the live
everybody.
stream. Yeah,
I
tell
don't-
everybody
Social,
where
put
you
your
want it.
social. What's your social? Last 4 digits.
You want the last one? You want my mother's maiden name too? While I'm
Mother's
at it?
maiden
Yeah.
name. The
Yeah,
name of the
your
street you grew
dog's
up
first
on.
name.
Yeah.
Hey, no, we got all your stuff in our system, Corey. We'll send you a hoodie. What size you want?
I'm a fat kid. I'm a 2X.
Okay, done.
Oh,
But,
that's why I've got all the 2X's in the sleeper back there.
I went
Yeah.
with a 3. I'll just let you know. They run a little slim, so I went with a 3.
Yeah,
What
I'm not
kind?
that fat. Jesus.
I think they just send it all to me.
Hey,
We
another
knew-
Nice.
another
we
month
knew
or
Reed
so, I'll
did-
be in a 1X.
Hey, hard times, boys. Laundry detergent's expensive. I had to hook Reed up, or I didn't know if his laundry fairy was on duty or what.
Who needs some truck parking club money? Huh? Who needs
got
some of
some?
this stuff?
I can
Yeah,
carry it.
but I got
Truck
I got
bucks?
enough-
What do they call that? Truck bucks?
I got charging
Bucks, that's
cords.
good.
I got everything over here. I don't have to work
Hell,
anymore. I got so much money.
We gave all our swag to Reed. That's why we didn't get any to Corey.
I'll tell you what, though, is I did get the charging cord, and then that promptly disappeared when my wife found it. Just so, yeah, I was
Oh,
like, man,
okay.
she got a hold of that one. That was good though. She was happy.
The Sharpies are good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, talk about swag game on point, man. Like, I don't know, they're rocking it, man.
What kind
We're
of
gonna get you
auction
a
you
hoodie.
going to, Corey?
This one's a small one. It's a dealer only auction down in then South Shore, Massachusetts. So I get to go into the only area that had snow, I think. Even though we were supposed to get blasted, I think it's like the only section that actually got snow. So
Hey,
Car
Hunter,
auction.
we might as well do it right now. I heard that you could do a good auctioneer call there. I think you should give us a little example there. What you got?
I am a principal in the state of principal auctioneer, principal broker in the state of Kentucky and Tennessee. What do you want to buy today, Corey? What is your dream ride to roll through Barrett Jackson? What would you, if money was no option, which vehicle would you buy on the Barrett Jackson auction line?
oh, we're definitely buying a hooded Pete 60-ton rotator. I mean, come on now. Like I'm not buying a car. I'm buying a good one.
Come on. Well, I would say, you never know. You might have a pack along, tote that thing, get you a motor toter. Yeah, but now what am I give it on there right here? He's going to be on 18 wheels. Give it about 1,800. What about 1,800 now? 2,000 now? 2,200. What about 25,500? 2,500. What about 27 and a half? Half. What about now? 27 and a half. Now 3,000. 3,000. You boys all in, all done? All in. Sold it 27.50. Your way, Corey. You should have got in there, Chris.
Hoorah.
I was watching the master at work. That was impressive.
I've got the money.
And I'll tell you what, when you show up and an auctioneer is good like that, you can get mesmerized and get caught up real quick. So watch out for guys like that.
I've always wondered how that voice like developed over time. Was it just everybody was speaking?
That's how Hunter came out of the womb, man. She was fucking.
But I mean, were people just speaking with like a flat accent for years, and like one guy just comes out speaking like that, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, this works."
Man, I've been caught up in it. Yeah, I've been caught up in it myself, man. At auctions buying, I mean, there is an art to it, and like I say, I've been guilty of my own crime, dude. Whenever I'm in pursuit of a purchase of something, it is what it is. The pressure's on.
I have an uncle in South Carolina who runs an auction house, and yeah, that's a trip.
Lots of fun, man. Lots of fun.
What do you do, like livestock? What kind of auction do you do?
Most of the sales I do are real estate and estate sales. I mean, we'll sell anything. We sell stuff that eats, and we sell stuff that's dead. We don't care, man. If you need it gone, we'll move it fast. A lot of it we've evolved into online auctions, which takes the art out of it. But you can reach a lot of people. It's just like the rest of the world, man. It's getting more and more tech inclined, so. But we got, my crew and my team has got, I still run an auction company and a real estate company, South Central Kentucky, Northern Tennessee. I've got a good team together, and they're awesome. They've got several sales on the books for this year.
Yeah, I looked up Albany, Kentucky. I seen a whole lot of hunters this and hunters that in that town.
Well, I ain't saying nothing, but a lot of them could eat more Wheaties and be less lazy, So somebody's got to do it.
Sorry, my cat crashed the stream.
Well, let me tell y'all one I got told this morning. Speaking of that cat, I love the cat there, Justin. So I'll tell you guys what. I'll get you. This one is for Randolph. So the Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys. I'll make it quick. I'll shorten it up. The Cowboys and the Indians. Indians captured the Cowboy. Said, "Hey, before we kill you, we're gonna give you 3 wishes." He said, "What's your first wish?" He said, "I want to talk to my horse." So Cowboy went over to his horse. He said, whispered in the horse's ear. Horse come back and run off, and come back in about an hour. Had a beautiful blonde. Took her right in the TP, dropped her off. Horse come back out. Next morning, the Indian said, "What's your second wish?" And he said, "I want to talk to my horse." Horse, he whispered in the horse's ear. Horse run off, come back with a beautiful brunette. Brunette comes back, drops her off into the tent. Third morning, he wakes up. Indian said, "Last wish." He said, "I want to talk to my horse." And he said, the Indian's like, "What's he telling that horse?" So they kind of slipped over a little closer, and he talked a whole lot louder this time, kind of screamed in his horse's ear. I said, "Bring the posse." He was in trouble, and my lead female cook at the restaurant in Albany told me that this morning before I headed out. So it makes it better when the chief of the kitchen staff at about the age 55 comes out with a cowboy and Indian joke right out of the gate about 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's a good start to the day.
I'm looking forward to having some barbecue. No joke. That's going to be a side trip one of these days. I'm just going to make me a little journey over there and have some of your barbecue. I love barbecue.
Come on.
Let's go.
Hey, bring the whole posse, man.
Bring the posse.
I'll bring the blonde and the brunette.
There you go.
Your sister?
Nah, not her.
Oh gosh, that's fighting words there, boys.
Evan's gotta book a couple more parking spots before he'll get access to her.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll figure it out.
Keep working. Keep working.
I like your hat, Reed.
All right. Oh no, there we go. The Monet hat. That's my hat roulette pick of the day. I got Yeah, we got all sorts of hats here. This one actually fits me pretty well, though. Not a lot of hats fit me like a glove. This hat fits me well. Got a big dome, you know.
Have you ever heard of a Kentucky Moanback?
No.
He's the guy on the back of the trash truck going, "Moan back, moan back, moan back."
Jesus.
I'll keep that one in mind when I'm in Kentucky and I see one of those guys.
Absolutely, he's Kentucky Moanback. You just holler, he'll shout back.
When
Mom
you
back.
coming to Kentucky, Reed?
When I go to Matt's.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about
Yeah.
you go down there, go to Hunter's Barbecue?
Well, let's go after.
There you go. Hop in the van.
Yeah, I'll get in the van with you guys. Let's go. We can do it on one of these live streams, but it could just be all of us in the same damn van.
I don't think you can keep up with Hunter.
Just make sure you ride in the same van with me, and you'll be fine, Reed.
All right, yeah, that's fine. You don't do the driving much these days. I mean, the last time you got behind the wheel, you almost got hit by a train. That's what I saw.
Oh man, yeah, it was Thomas the train. He thought he could, but I hammered down and we moved right on out the way.
How did you even film that?
Well, it was just it just was what it was. It
Okay.
we did make it. We got all the pictures. I got new footage of all the locations in Birmingham. Escaped a train wreck, and we did some. Oh, and discovered rib tips. That was a good trip there, man. Got a lot accomplished.
Rib tips?
Like burn end?
Rib tips, man. It's a special cut. Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna turn you boys onto this. If you're ever at either one of our locations in let's see here, Southern Alabama, Birmingham. I'm sorry, I was in Mississippi. Palachi, Mississippi, and also the one that starts with a C.
Pickens.
Evan. Pickens, that's
Pickens
right.
and
That's right. Pickens and Palachi, Mississippi. Dude, the rib tips are to die for. Basically, when they straighten up a baby back rib in a bandsaw so that it packages right and it's pretty, because the rib is, tapered, larger on one end than the other, they straighten that baby back up. It's the clippings off the bottom of it. So I done my homework on this, being I have a barbecue joint, and if all goes well, coming soon. Unique and just dude had it going on. Bomb.com. I give a guy a 10. Best thing I've had on the road in a couple months. But rib tips, never heard of it. It's a special, and it's a waste product that he's turned into a masterpiece.
Tons of recipes for it when you look online.
You got to get them at the
Sounds like
restaurant there.
I was gonna say, sounds like something's coming soon. Boy, that guy back up there, he just about hit the
Holy
meat.
hello. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, Chris, why aren't you
That
just
RV?
permanently in the hammer lane there, buddy?
Well, I've had my truck cut back neutered for a while, and I just
You have a speed limiter?
Yeah, when I went up to Canada, I enabled it. Everybody's kind of giving me hell for that. They're like, "Oh, they don't check it up there anymore." What they don't understand is I've already been in trouble up there, so I play it safe. I don't take no risks on that. I just
What kind of trouble did you get in Canada?
I think a couple of years ago. So I got busted with it. I hadn't turned my speed back. I wasn't speeding, but I got pulled into the scale, and that's probably about 2012, 2013. And I was basically told I had 15 days to turn it down and send in proof to the system that I did, or else I would have to show up to court. Now, they have a progressive system where you get busted second time. It's like they impound your truck for 15 days and stuff. So I don't know about anybody else, but I just ain't going to take that risk, that gamble. My livelihood, you know what I mean?
What are you governed at?
I'm 65 right now, which is amazing. It's really cut down on the stress level. Every day I just get in here and I do what I can do. Fuel economies went up. Probably wear and tear on the vehicle goes down with speed, and I keep the door shut and can still get a good solid 650 in a day.
Pretty much autonomous.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's autonomy, not autonomous. They took away his autonomy to drive the speed that he chooses.
Yeah. I'm just giving him hell. Man, I'm
I
getting
never-
hungry.
The closest I ever got into trouble in Canada was it was a couple weeks before Halloween, and I had like Halloween decorations like all in my truck, and I had these like bloody handprints on the passenger window, and when I was going over the not state line but Providence line, whatever they call them up there into Quebec, the border guard there was like asking me like what's up with the handprints. I was like, what, you guys don't have Halloween up there? And she didn't like my answer, so they just basically wasted my time for an hour.
Did they look for the dead body or what?
No, they just were like, oh, this guy's a dick, so we're just gonna be a dick back to him.
So
Lesson
you,
learned.
Oh, yeah.
when you're coming back, when you're coming back from up there from Quebec, one of the things you don't want to tell them when they say, "Do you have anything to declare?" You never want to say stripper glitter, and I'm herpes free. They don't like that.
my
Stripper
God.
glitter.
What's stripper
Yeah.
glitter?
Well, Montreal is nothing but strip clubs, so you always end up with
No.
stripper glitter all over you. That the sparkly shit. So I always declare the stripper glitter when I come over the thing because I'm bringing it back to
Nice.
the States. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They definitely don't like that. No sense of humor.
I'll keep that in mind next time I go up there.
So
Yeah.
I invited Spud into here. He said give him 10 minutes, and that was 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how long we were going. I think we've been going at this about an hour.
Hour and 6
Hour and
minutes.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do this. You guys want to do it some more? Let's do it more often.
Yeah.
It's
Well, good.
it's not every day that Evan's on the road though. He'd probably be just hammering on the keyboard working if he weren't on the road with you all the time now, Chris, huh?
Well, you know, this is an amazing time in the century, right? Like he's over here running his company while I'm driving down the road running my company. I mean, this is the modern day. There was an old movie, They Drive by Night. Well, I drive by day, and Evan's running his company right over there in the passenger seat. So it's been a pretty impressive little trip we've had, just getting to hang out and do the thing and see the country. And yeah, it's a fun trip. I think people should do this more. If you're trying to solve problems in a space that you don't know a whole lot about, you got some ideas out, hop in the job with somebody for a while. Hop in the seat, see it, ask questions, learn.
Come
Learn
pick
by
me up, bro.
exposure. Learn by exposure, you know?
Chris is gonna have the
much you
hottest
gonna pay,
passenger seat in the. How much am I gonna pay? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay as much as you.
I came in and made it cool, and then now we've already decided we're gonna start charging, right, Chris?
Yeah, we gotta monetize this. Indie trucker ride along consultant.
There you go.
IRC.
Passenger seat ass parking club.
Oh my God.
Hey,
A very
Chris, can I
exclusive
Mobile
spot.
can I-
office club.
can I lease on, Chris?
Yeah.
Are you taking leased operators? I mean, I don't want a
franchise-
W-2.
It's a franchise opportunity.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Next, Evan. Next, you got to go ride along with Corey up in Mass and go repo some cars.
Yeah, can we do some predatory towing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down. Let's do it.
No, it's insane the stories that we'll hear, running truck parking club. Fortunately, it doesn't happen, too often, but we've heard some crazy ones. Like, they'll just haul you off. It's like, why'd you do that? Well, we thought they were in violation. Well, they're not. Well, tell them to come get their truck. Okay, that's great. That's like, I just don't see how it can be such a simple thing.
It usually isn't. There's the tow op story, there's the driver story, and then there's the truth. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I will tell you is that if you don't want to be towed, it's almost always avoidable.
Yeah.
And it
no,
starts with getting a truck parking club spot.
Yeah, right. Like,
Ooh, nice.
here's the thing, like, from what we've seen, yes, there's many instances where it's the driver's fault, of course. But the ones where it's like the tow truck company just towed them off, and then they're like, "Yeah, we messed up. Tell them to come get their truck." And it's just a weird thing where it's like, is it that simple? You're just like, "Oh, my bad." It's I don't know.
Well, and a lot of that is when you like if you're at a truck stop, you know, like Dominic's truck stop, you know, when I went down there, every window had a piece of paper with a time and a date on it, right?
Yeah.
So you paid for parking, you hung that in the window, you know, but the guy forgets to hang it in his window or does something dumb, and they hook onto it and tow it. Well, yeah, I mean, again, I get it. It's no harm, no foul. Like, shit, you know, you're right. You did pay for it. We didn't notice the sticker. My bad. I'm not gonna be an ass about it. I'm gonna give it back to you. But you know, again, there's a lot of that too. And you know, the biggest thing you see in this industry is, or through the course of listening to this narrative, is that everybody always starts with, well, I was in the ditch, or I was parked by a sign, or I was in a Walmart lot, or, you know what I mean? It's always, there's always, I had a guy the other night tell me, well, they charged me 12 grand because I got stuck on the highway because my brakes caught on fire. Well, why did your brakes catch on fire? Right? Like, you wouldn't have been charged 12 grand if you took care of your brakes, right? So, you know, and that's the hardest thing is we all want to blame somebody else when it hurts, when we have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, 99% of all interactions are going to be avoidable.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and also, like, how much do they expect this to cost? You know, if they're most of the time, if you're hoping that they're an owner operator, they would kind of like know operating costs. But I guess too many guys out there are just company drivers and don't know the numbers.
Well, it's not only that, but like, so one of like a misconception is you think, all right, you know, what does a new tractor cost, right? What does a new trailer cost? So you're talking a couple $100,000 for something brand new, right? $250 for a tractor, high end spec, whatever. And what are we getting? 60, 70 grand for a trailer. So, you know, that, sorry guys. And then, you know, they're, you know, they see that number and think, well, that tow truck can't be more than that. What they don't realize that it is that, you know, that a tow truck, a small tow truck starts at that. Never mind a big one that can run at 1.2 million, 700,000, 800,000, $1 million. So, you know, I think it's a misconception. You know, the price of trucks has gone up like 35 or 40% since COVID. You know, so I think it's just a monetary misconception that, well, you know, if I'm getting, and the other one is the mileage. You guys get, you know, most truck drivers get paid by the mile. Our industry doesn't. We're by the hour, right? So, you know, typically our industry is by the hour. You know, so I think that it's just misunderstanding of reality, right? You don't understand what today's reality is versus when you started back in.
Oh man.
Oh, we lose Corey.
I think so.
Somebody got to him.
What's up, Spud? Oh, he dropped. Damn.
What's going on, guys?
Nothing much.
What's up?
We're here. Slept
How's your
up
back?
today, doing nothing.
How's the back?
It exists. Still on drugs, pretty heavy drugs. So, yeah.
It's dark. It's dark in everyone's pictures except for, I guess I'm the only one where on the West Coast. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pitch black here by like 5:30.
There's a little light out here still through my dirty window.
Oh, Hunter, there we go, boy.
Tiny Trucker Tim riding into the sunset with Tiny Trucker Tim, man.
It looks like such a better view. Yeah, you and Mr. Golf Course over there.
I miss mountains.
Reed is country club, bro.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we can
Yeah.
see through my dirty window. Hold on. This window needs cleaned badly. Like there's a truck over there. How's
Bro,
that?
clean your windows. Clean your windows, man.
I'm going to say hands down, Truck Parking Club's location in Logan, Utah might have the most scenic vistas of any location I've seen, possibly.
That was wild. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, I mean,
realize.
yeah.
I don't think we had ever. Yeah, I'd never seen those mountains when we onboarded that property. When Adam onboarded it, it was cool. It was very cool.
You need to add scenic views to your amenities list there.
That's what I told him. Adventure, the adventure badge.
Yeah.
Truckers seeking adventure.
Yeah.
Corey said he had to go. His wife and kids called, so he's on the phone.
That's gotta be a thing though. You gotta, because like the more locations you guys have that have those sorts of things, like you just highlight them, right? I mean,
Yeah.
make people want to park there.
For sure.
Give them
Yeah.
something to do. Oh, hey, there's a scenic view. Look at my kids, she's probably about to bang on the window. Yeah.
Mine,
Yeah, there
mine
she
actually
goes.
just went to bed. I don't know if you heard him scream or not. That's kind of early for him tonight. He must have got worn out over his cousin's house.
There she goes. All right, guys. I gotta
round it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay.
All right,
guys.
boys.
Thanks
That was
for coming
fun.
on.
This was
Justin,
fun.
thanks for coming on, man.
Anytime,
Yeah.
anytime.
See
You too,
y'all.
man.
See you guys.
See you guys at Mets.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.